Hey guys, Yowie Sightings on. We have an unexpected sighting report I got last night. So, I got a mate who's right in the drag racing, and we were actually out testing his car on the weekend for the Winter Nationals, and he's got a few problems with the gearbox. Anyway, we had to bring it home, and while they're mucking around with that, I was talking to his brother, does not believe anything to do with anything. Okay, he's a total skeptic about everything. Doesn't matter what it is, he don't believe it. Anyway, he'd had a few drinks, so he was like loosening up, and he goes, "I'm gonna tell you a story. I bet you'll believe it." Right? This is what he said. He goes, "Hang on, I'm gonna go get another drink." He goes, "It's about a yowie." Well, it's not a yowie, but there was something in the bush. He goes, "Hang on, I'm gonna get another drink." So he gets a drink, comes back, and I thought he's just gonna make up something and see if I believe it or not. Anyway, he starts telling me the story that so they're out at Redbank Plains. That's where they live. So when they were young, like when they were 15 and that, so they lived just up in here, right, Redbank Plains. And even my good mate, he used to ride motorbikes all through here. I've told the stories. They had something happen at White Rock. They heard something touching their bikes. But he said he's not sure where he was, this guy, but he goes, we all camped at, he thinks Spring Mountain. So Spring Mountain's all around here. You wouldn't think they were too far. Anyway, he goes, they were camping in there. And so they'd gone somewhere and they just come back to where their tents was. And they could see something going through all their stuff as they were walking back. And he said they're walking back and they see, this something going through all their stuff. And he goes, and it just takes off over to the side of he said a straight like mountain cliff wall. And he goes, it just climbed it. It just went straight up it. He goes, he said it had green eyes too, okay? So when he told me, I'm like, man, this is believable. This ain't a made up story. You just couldn't know this sort of stuff. These, we get reports like this all the time. So he said he thinks like this. So he's, I don't know, you have to be 40, right? So let's say they were 15. So it's happened a fair few years ago. There's been a lot of sightings in Redbank Plains and that back then. He said he reckons it was about 7 foot, had green eyes. And anyway, they were like, well, what? They just all said, what was that? Then when they got back, they could see all their food, like they had, I don't know, whatever they had, all their food had been opened up. Their tent, he said their tent had like perfect cuts in it. He said he remembers that, because I asked him, I said, were the cuts like really clean cuts? He said, yeah, they were. They're like really clean cuts. So, and he goes, once we seen the tent all cut up, we just went, let's go, we're out of here. And they just got out of there and they just left all their stuff there. So I asked him heaps of questions about it, and he goes, so at the start, he was going, what's all these things about yowies? That's how we led into these things, because he knows I'm doing that stuff, right? And then that's when he said he'll tell me the story. So I said, so you've seen a yowie, right? He goes, well, I don't know what I seen. He goes, I'm not saying it was a yowie. I just seen something. I seen this thing that was like about 7 foot tall that looked like a human. And I said, but you've seen one. I said, I haven't seen one. You've seen one. And you still don't believe it. So to me, guys, he actually seen it. He doesn't believe it. So it's funny, eh? And it was just, there's probably a lot of people out there who have got this same story and they do not want to come out and say it because they don't want to be ridiculed or whatever. And he still denies that that's what he's seen. So there's probably hundreds, thousands of stories like that. So if anyone has got one of those stories, I suggest you go over here to my group, Australian Yowie Discussion, right? When you join, you can leave a message when you join. I'll wait to see what happened, all right? All right, so there's a few guys on the group that have had sightings for all around here. There's been some from around Greenbank, Camira, The back of Forest Lakes when before the highway went in. Ripley. What else has happened out there? I had another guy who's messaged me about drones out at Undalla, which is, Undalla's way down further. Then you just don't know, we went out to Ripley. Whereabouts did we go to? South Ripley. So we were at Deaving Heights. We were more this way, guys. Probably in here. Hang on. Yeah, in here somewhere. You can't even see that. Yeah, so in here. So that's where there's an Aboriginal, I don't know, land there. I forget what the name of it is. And we went out there with, I've told the story, with Paul. Oh, Paul McLeod. So he was the Ipswich Yowie guy. He knew everything about Yowies out there. And Digger Down Under. So I don't know what happened to Paul McLeod. No one's seen him for ages. I think Digger's still got a YouTube channel. You can go check out his YouTube channel, Digger Down Under. So Paul contacted me. He said, come out, mate. He goes, Chris Sun's coming out. So if you don't know Chris Sun, he's the guy that made Boar. So we went out to this Aboriginal land, and they were going to get, what's the other guy, famous, Ernie Dingo. He was going to come out, not that day, but maybe later on, and help try and save these people their land, okay? Because they were doing that big protest there. They don't want their land dug on. There's a couple of cemeteries on there, so it's, So, do you know, what's her name? Australia's First Nation. What's her name? So she's got a YouTube channel too. I can't think of her name. Go check out her channel too. Australia's First Nation. She's switched on to all this. So yeah. Anyway, getting off track. So we went out there, and we met a girl there, a young Aboriginal girl there, who was walking up the back. If you go on the map, there's like an army shooting thing up here further. But it's more this way, guys. It's back that way in the map. If you're looking at the map of Deaving Heights. And she was walking up the back of this land. And she heard a big crack in a tree. She looked up because she was just walking. Looked up to where she heard the crack. And seen a massive 8-9 foot yowie, all black, like a flash, run from one tree on the left, straight across the track to the right tree, and then disappeared. And she goes, I don't know where it went. So this is the weird thing. Where do these yowies go? Are they coming out of trees or what? I don't know. It's just weird. And I've heard other stories about yowies knocking on trees and the trees open up. And I've only heard it once. And the yowies have hopped inside a tree like a portal or something. So who knows what's going on. But anyway, that's what happened to that girl. She seen it. She heard the crack. Seen it. Go straight across the track in front of it, went behind another tree and disappeared. And she said it was massive, and she said it was fast and it was like a black flash. All right, so we've had that as well. That was only in 2020 when we went out there. So Chris' son actually did all filming out there with Paul and Digger, and I didn't want to be in it myself. I don't want to be on TV. Anyway, so what else? Yeah, so that's what happened. I don't know whatever happened to that. Anyway, what else has happened out there? So, we've had sightings from Bow Desert, from Warrong Dam, like right in the Boona side. When you cross over that road where the dam is to the other side, Sandy Creek or whatever it is in there, there's been sightings there. They're all pretty old, but all right. And then my mate, let's change the picture. Hang on. Well, still didn't get down further. So down here, guys, down in here somewhere, had a mate get bogged in the bush. Two mates, actually. Oh, one was my daughter's boyfriend. So they got bogged in the bush, and then his cousin. And they were stuck in the bush. They couldn't move. Everything had gone flat. Their batteries had gone flat in their cars. Their phones had no reception. They used to go driving out there all the time. I've been out there heaps of times with them. I've never seen anything. But this one particular night, because both cars were bogged, both, and then they all got flat batteries. This one guy, he was out there with his missus and their baby. Their baby was only 1 year old, and they're stuck in this car, no lights, no nothing. And then my daughter's boyfriend at the time, he was in his car, but he'd actually walked off because he'd lost his smoke, so he'd gone and walked this track to go look for his cigarettes and just left them. Right at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the ones that were back in the car, they started hearing this noise. He said he doesn't know what it was. Like, I've spoke to both of them. They don't know what it was. It was like, they said it might have been like a clicking noise, with your tongue, like that, or was there something knocking on trees? Anyway, they started freaking out. So they lit a massive fire. He got a fire going because he wanted to know what was around him. He reckons it kept happening all night till daylight, this clicking noise. And he said it was like they were surrounding him. So that's out there as well. That's down New Flagstone Mall where they're building all the houses. Down further. What else has happened out there? Oh, yeah, then another mate. So his family lived somewhere around Greenbank. Now, the house used to be an old drover's house or something. They lived in it. I don't know when. It was a fair while ago. It would have been, have to be 25, 30 years ago. So these are my mate's parents. My mate's parents are Aboriginal. So the parents moved to Tara. He's the guy that sent me the photo of the foot at his dam. And everyone goes, oh, it's not a foot, it's a kangaroo. It's a foot. He knows the difference between a foot and a kangaroo. It's just the way the photo was taken. It's just a weird. I haven't gone up there yet to go see it. It's probably gone by now anyway. So they lived in this place. I've got this story from the mum. And it was like the old drove. It was when they brought cattle or something years and years ago, there was houses that they would all stop at, and this was one of these houses where they stopped at. Anyway, they rented this house. They were there for a month. Anyway, they wake up in the morning, everything would be thrown everywhere. There'd be stuff scattered everywhere, right? And it kept happening every night. And then my friends, so my mate, his sister, and their other sister, and their two dogs would all be in one room. Now, these dogs, they told me, they were pretty not scared of nothing dogs, right? They would run in the house, and they couldn't move them. They reckon their claws would dig into the wood so you couldn't push them back outside. And they were that scared that they'd all just go in this room and they could hear it coming. They could hear it from other properties. All the dogs would start barking, and then they knew that it wouldn't be long before these Yowie, I don't know if it was Yowies or one Yowie, would be in their yard. And it happened every night for a month at this place. And I think he had a 22 rifle. He would shoot it into the air and try and scare them, but it didn't scare them. So yeah, they'd all be locked in this room. Anyway, after a month, they rang the police and all. They rang Browns Plains police station. That was the only police station around there. And they come out and they go, "Well, you better call Ghostbusters." And then they rang the real estate and said, "We're going to get out of this house." So who knows? And I've looked up where that house was, and it says it was on Tivia Road, but the way they explained it to me, where they lived, it wasn't Tivia Road. I thought it was more. There's a road that sort of goes from here into Ripley, Thompson's Road or something. I don't know. That's what I thought it was. I thought that's where the dad told me it was. Because I'm sure they told me another story when they come home and they had a long driveway and they come up the driveway and they seen something run off as well. So anyway, that's everything that's been happening out there. Then I seen someone on Stetsy's group, apparently. Over here, guys. Where are we? Parkinson. Oh, great. Where is it? Oh, here. See here? This is Karawaffa, guys. Now, I've got a video, because I went and had a look in there. There's a couple of guys in my group that had stuff happening there too. There's a big, see that there? That's a big quarry. Massive swimming hole, guys, there. Anyway, I went for a walk in there one day and some weird stuff happened. And then in one of my videos, I'm up here. I'm somewhere in here, guys. And there's some white-looking thing, like a white, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's a Yowie, but I never noticed. It was only when I went back through my videos and I looked up, I thought, what is that? So I don't know if I picked up something. I don't know what the video is called. It's probably Yowie Karawaffa or something. I don't know. If I find the video, I'll put it in this description. But and then there's another guy that had some weird stuff happen there on the group. And I think he took some fruit plants or something from out of here or something. And then something happened to his dog. He doesn't know how his dog died. It's a weird story. I forget how the story goes. He's on the group. He might tell everyone one day. I'm sure he has. Now, on one of Stets, so apparently Stetsy went there on the weekend and had an interview with somebody about this place because someone in his group had a sighting there 2 years ago in 2021. So anyway, what I'll tell you, I used to work somewhere around here. I'm not going to say where, right? Now, when we used to do night shift, we'd have to go down the back and get these trucks, right? Or empty stuff down the back. Now, I didn't know about Yowies back then, but now it's made me think, I don't know if I'm just saying it, but I always used to remember going down the back. If you were going down there by yourself, it always felt weird. It always felt scary, like someone was watching you. They always say someone's watching you. But there used to be a guy, he used to sniff paint, right? So he used to park his car, and he used to walk down into the bush and sniff paint. The police used to go down there and see him all the time, and they just leave him alone. He'd be there every night sniffing paint, man. I think he's still there now, and this is years ago. So I used to think, it's just him. He must be in the bush, and I'm picking up on it or something. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, every time I'd walk down the back, something would happen. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, and as you can see, like all this bush, so that's Greenbank Army Camp. So there's been sightings from around here, Camira. Before this road went in here, guys, there was all bush. There's another guy in the group. He had sightings here. There's another lady here that had them. There's another guy at Redbank that had sightings probably down in here more, down this way. But these are years ago. Oh, actually, and then you know what happened around here the other day? Well, it's not. I don't know how old it is now. Oh, where's Redbank? Ripley White Rock. So Redbank's around here. So around here, police dog went missing. They were chasing a car. The dog squad got out to go chase the guy. Had a 20-foot cord, right? 20-foot lead, right? Somehow the dog just took off and broke loose from the dog squad's handler, right? So it got away. The dog got away, and ran off into the bush after something. What it ran after, we don't know. Was it chasing the guy? I don't know. But guess what, guys? It's pretty. I don't know. It's a pretty weird story. But that police guy never found that dog. It's never been found to this day. And they had. So you just think about this. That dog's got a 20-foot lead on. How far do you think it's going to go in the bush? It's not going to get far, is it? It's going to get tangled up in trees. And like he said, when the dog has a problem, it'll bark so he knows where it is. That's how they're trained, you know? Because it never made any noise after it took off into the bush. He's never seen it again. So did a Yowie grab it? Probably. We don't know. There's been no sign, no trace, no sign of the lead. And then the next day, they had police helicopters with thermals, and they had SES. They searched that place for weeks. Thousands of people that live there, were just out searching, trying to find this dog, right? It can't just disappear. There's just no way in the world. And we know that that's another story I got. So we know that the Yowies, dogs can find Yowies. Right, they can get them, but if you take a dog in there to look for a Yowie, it's not going to probably be good for your dog. Which reminds me about another story I just remembered. So down, where are we? All the way down here. I didn't get where the dam is. There was another story. Another guy told me about he had a friend that was pig hunting down there. And he heard his dogs on the something. And he goes, next thing they all just went quiet. Anyway, he had trackers on him. And then when he got up to his dogs, there was 3 dogs. They were all dead. All had their necks snapped. So there's some weird stuff going on in here. All right. I don't know if there's anything else I got to tell. I don't know. And then, I don't know if you know, but you know B105, they're doing a thing called Bigfoot Hunt. Can you believe it? Search for Bigfoot. So, yeah, go check that out. Anyway, I thought I'd just tell you about that story, guys. Thanks for listening. All right, guys. If you want to report a sighting and you want me to read it out, go to Australian Yowie Discussion Facebook group and just leave a message there. All right. Too easy, guys. All right. See you later. Thanks for listening.